Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in, come on in, come on in. This morning, I have a topic that I want to actually talk about because I've dealt with this in my own family. And I don't know how many other people are dealing with this spirit, but I have dealt with it in my family. And I wanted to get on this morning, I wanted to talk about why a bipolar person may view you as the enemy. I've dealt with this spirit with my husband. I've dealt with this spirit with my daughter. When an individual with bipolar disorder experiences severe mood episode, their perception of reality and interpersonal relationships can become distorted. This shift often results in devaluing or victimizing those closest to them. Number one, paranoia and delusional thinking during severe mania or mood episodes where symptoms of mania and depression happen at once. A person may experience this and it can go left. Number two, the logic. Their brain is a state of hyper arousal. They may begin to believe that others are plotting against them, holding them back, or trying to control them. This is one of the things that I have experienced with my daughter. The result, number three, the result. Because you are the person most likely to notice their symptoms or suggest they need help, you become the primary threat to their perceived accusations or their perceived, you know, encounter of what they believe that they're going through. Number three, the result. Because you are the person most likely to notice their symptoms, they begin to attack you. Number four, irritability and mania rages. Mania is not always happy. For many, it manifests in extreme irritability. Like, say, for instance, this irritability can take place when an individual, they do something wrong and they need a fall guy to blame for. So the person closest to them is the one that they attack. Number five, sensor overload. In a manic state, the brain is flooded with stimuli. Normal conversation can feel like personal attacks to the individual with bipolar, and simply requests can feel a simple request can feel like an unbearable demand to them. I've experienced this. I've experienced it more than one time. God knows it has been something that I have had to deal with for years when other family members would not deal with this individual. I had to. Everybody walked away. Nobody was there in crisis except me. So I can speak on this. I can speak on this really well. Displaced anger. The individual feels a profound internal tension because they cannot easily identify the source of this discomfort. The chemical imbalance, they attach that feeling to the person's nearest to them. Number seven, projection and defense mechanism. Bipolar disorder often carries a heavy burden of subconscious guilt or shame. Number nine, flipping the script. If a person feels they are losing control are behaving poorly, it is psychologically easier to believe that you are the problem rather than admitting their illness is flaring up. The obstacle narrative, number 10. If they are in a manic phase and want to spend money, stay up all night, engage in risky behavior, sexual behavior, anyone who tries to stop them is viewed as the enemy or jailer preventing their happiness. Number 11, bipolar splitting back and black and white thinking. While splitting is more commonly associated with borderline personality disorder, many people with bipolar disorder also experience a similar cognitive distortion during episodes. Number 12, the switch. They lose the ability to see the gray areas of a person, either 100% for them or 100% against them. I have experienced this, went through this, walked through this with my daughter for years. Other family members were not there to support me. I was the one that was always there. Number 13, emotional amnesia. During episodes, the person may struggle to access the warm feelings and history they have had with you. They only feel the intense negative emotions of the current moment. Number 14, rejection sensitivity. During depressive or mixed states, individuals become hypersensitive to perceived rejection. A late text or a tired sigh on your part can be interpreted as a sign that you hate them. To protect themselves from that imagined abandonment, they may attack first to push you away or tell you to get out. You are controlling. Conclusion: how you navigate through this is don't argue the delusion. Number 2, set boundaries. Number 3, dis- depersonalize yourself. Remind yourself this is a disorder talking to you, not that person I know and love. I don't know how many people out there have experienced this, but I have walked through this. And you become the bad guy. When my daughter would take and go on these buying sprees, and recently she went on one Christmas, and this company called Tamu, whatever it is, she decided that she wanted to do bank overdrafts and overbuy things for her grandkids and all of this stuff, ordering it and ordering it. And the bank had fixed it where she could not come in the bank and get it. But somehow she called Express Bank and was able to do it over her phone. And at that point, just ordered and ordered and ordered. Woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning from 2 all the way around, just ordering stuff, and ordering stuff. This is I don't know, it's almost demonic. And I believe that a spirit is actually attached to this. I know I've been through it, and I know that I have been there. And I don't fear any agency. I don't fear anyone when it comes to dealing with this with her. Family members that as soon as she gets out of the hospital and is somewhat stable, they are ready to come back into her life through the hard moments of her being in the hospital, having manic highs, all of this. They're not there. They say they can't deal with it. And that comes from my son, my daughter, her son, her daughter. It's unbelievable. But I am the one that have had to walk through this. And so this morning when I was up and I was praying for her, I went into the presence of God and I said, God, help me write this out. I know what I've experienced. I know what I've gone through. You're not a bad parent because you tell someone, especially your children, when something is wrong. Parents should be able to speak into their children's lives. And when I began to speak into her life and tell her about this behavior, tell her also about the behavior of messing with people's husbands. getting money from married men, I become the bad guy. Oh, yes, I'm going to speak out on it because of the simple fact that I will never allow my good to be spoken evil of. You know, you have to pray for your family, you have to pray for family members. This has been, over the years, this has been so devastating for me because I have lost jobs behind it. I've had to move from here to there. And I have got to a point where, you know, this person will never ever do better until I separate myself from them and I move on with my life and they hit rock bottom. They will do you any kind of way if you allow them to. And it's not the individual, it's the disorder. And you pray for them. And I'm not saying that I don't love my child, I do. But there comes a point where you put a boundary there and you say, enough is enough. You've destroyed my reputation. You've done things that are just absolutely left. You lie, and I will never be able to get to the level where God has called me if I do not put a boundary there for you. So I don't know how many other people are dealing with this or have dealt with this in their family. I dealt with it with my husband before he passed away. I have dealt with it with my daughter. And like I said, I could write books on this because the one thing about me, I keep a timeline. I maybe record episodes. I have proof. And it is unbelievable how they can go on these shopping sprees where they just spend money. And then if they don't have money, they find new ways to get it, whether it be a loan company, whether it be doing overdrafts, whatever they have to do. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I wanted to get on this morning. I wanted to talk about this because it's been a while since I've done a live. But I have come to a point in my life that it is time for me to live my life and to move on and to do what God's called me to do, as well as work and get myself together. Because I will continue to be in this vicious cycle if I don't break this cycle. That's why they have agencies to come in and to help. When a person is out of control and spend their money here, there, everywhere, and doing all of this, that's when someone, and I'm not talking about me, an agency should step in, take control of that check, and pay the bills and give that person a sort of like some money to spend that month. I have seen this thing get out of control. I have seen my daughter at a point where, it is just unbelievable. And you're sitting there and you're telling the individual, even with illnesses in their life, diabetes, you can't eat sugar. You can't eat this. And you see them sit there and look at you like you're crazy and continue to eat. All of a sudden, sores start to break out on their feet, on their body, and cysts come up and they bust and they have to be, you know, stuffed with, I mean, she has to go to the doctor. Let me put it this way. And you have to take and pack these cysts, antibiotics. And then the individual, here you are trying to help. And I really believe in my heart that as long as you're there, that person will never ever do what they're supposed to do for themselves. Uh, we, as people in this world with our sanity, we know what we have to do on a daily basis. We do it. There is no way that I am going to sit down and just destroy my body, destroy my health. If I know that eating something will cause my sugars to go to 500, 400, 700, which I've seen my daughter do, I won't do it. Uh, I remember when the doctors diagnosed me with diabetes many, many years ago, And I sit back and I told my doctor, I said, give me 6 months and I'll reverse this. And my at that time, mine was only, I think, a 7. And I began to pray. I asked the Lord to lead and guide me on how to reverse this. And I went in and I started looking at the things that I was eating, reading labels and what turned to sugar. Within 3 months, I have reversed this and no longer a diabetic. So no one is going to tell me it can't be done. You have to have discipline. You have to take and take care of your body. The Bible says if you destroy, if you don't take care of your temple, the Lord will destroy you. And I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm going, why am I even talking to this individual? Because the more I talk, the worse it gets. I'm controlling when I tell her the right thing to do. I am trying to control her life when I see risky behaviors. Here in 2025, you cannot just lay down and have sex with anybody. And sex should be only in a marriage, not outside of a marriage. There are things out there like AIDS and what have you. And trust me, I've watched my family over the years and I have documented, I've kept a timeline. When she's in crisis and something happens, not one of them are going to be there. Not one. I've seen it over and over and over again. So the reason why I'm coming on with this is to bring, this thing to the light because I know more families are dealing with this than me. Uh, so the only thing that I can tell you is to get yourself in counseling. Make sure that you protect your own mental health because a person is going to do what they want to do regardless of what you tell them. They're going to do what they want to do. And when they refuse to get in counseling, they refuse to change, they refuse to blame you. You're the fall guy, you're the problem, you're this, you're controlling, you're that. No. I remember my mother could speak into my life and she could tell me, she could sit down and talk to me. I never cussed her out, never did any of those things. Some things I didn't agree with, but I never disrespected her. I may have said something 3 blocks down the road, but never to her face. I have seen this go on not only in my family, but in other families. I just went through an ordeal where I had a friend and she was sick. And she called me and she let me know I am so sick. And I asked her a question. I said, well, then why aren't you going to the doctor? She said, because every time I go to the urgent clinic, they always tell me the same thing. I said, then go to the hospital. She was vomiting. She couldn't keep any food down, severely dehydrated. I even offered to come over and take her to the hospital. She still wouldn't go. And she kept saying, I would text her, and I knew in my spirit that something was severely wrong. I had no peace in my spirit. So I continued to contact her and I continued to text her and call her back to back to back. And she texted me back and she said, stop worrying about me. I'm going to be all right. I'm all right. Why are you worrying about me like this? And I said, because of everything that you're telling me and my background in nursing, 25 years, you need to go to the hospital. You cannot make a person do something. I learned this through this situation. So I'm going to tell you what eventually happened. Last week, this week, I called, I begged, I texted, everything. I told her, get some Pedialyte. You're not keeping anything down. You need to replenish your body. You need to get something in you. You need IVs. You need a doctor. Quit diagnosing yourself. You don't have a medical license. I don't have a medical license. I am telling you the right thing to do is to go to the hospital and get help. Do you know that some people don't want help? Some people will do what they want to do and the end results can be devastating. Her end results were devastating. She died, died right there in that bed in her house. When I got a call and I found an individual, I didn't even know where she lived, which she lived probably about 3 minutes away from me. I didn't even know where she lived because she was very secretive about where she lived and everything. And I went over there. A friend of mine called me. I went over there, and she was devastated, and I was devastated. They had just took her body out of the house. Now, the one thing that she was saying is, "I want to be here for my child. My child is everything for me to me." But how can you be there for your child when you make a decision not to take care of yourself and not to go to the hospital and do what you need to do for you? So I said about all of this to say, all of that to say this. Some people, you just cannot tell them what to do. You can't even suggest what to do. They will get other family members involved. They will cuss you out. They will call you everything but a child of God. Now, when you remove yourself from that situation, let's see then how what this individual does. My prayer is that deliverance comes to my family. This thing of knowing God and playing like you know Him and living a nasty, unclean life before God is not being saved. I don't care what nobody says. I believe in grace, I believe in all of that. But holiness without no man will ever see God. I have come against this spirit, and I want others that know how to pray the prayer of faith join in with me and believe God with me for deliverance. But I have to remove myself from this situation due to the fact that I want to protect my own mental health. I have been nothing but happy since I've moved into my new place. I spent yesterday painting, getting things in order the way I want them. So if you're experiencing this with a family member, don't give up. Remove yourself from that situation. I began to fast and pray. You need to fast and pray for that individual and pray that God sends people into their life that can speak into their life. Some people will not do what they need to do until they're made to do it. I'm not that kind of individual. I will do what I need to do for me. No one has to make me do it. No one has to make me take a shower. No one has to make me clean my house. No one has to make me cook for me. No one has to make sure that I'm healthy. No one has to make sure that I have food. No one has to make sure that my bills are paid. No one has to do any of that for me. These are things that I know to do. So I wanted to come on and I wanted to talk about this morning because so many families are dealing with people in their family that have bipolar that are totally out of control. Taking someone to your house for the Christmas holiday is not going to resolve the issue. Them taking their meds will, them going to counseling, them getting the support from mental health agencies that they need, and them taking and doing what the therapist tells them to do. In other words, not just listening to a therapist, but applying what they tell you to your life so that you can become better. God bless you guys this Sunday. I don't know if this made any sense. I don't even know if anybody got anything out of this. But when you're going through things, don't think that God is not there with you. Sometimes God will pull you by yourself so that you can hear Him through His Word, hear Him through His Word. Fast and pray, seek the face of God. It is so important as we move into end time that we hear from God. And when I say hear from God, God speaks to me through His Word. I can be led to a certain chapter, a certain verse, and what I get out of that is just God speaks volumes through His Word to me. So today, I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. God bless you. God bless whoever is listening in. Have an amazing day. And as always, you're listening to absolutely the best in inspirational podcasts. You are listening to Dr. Carrie Hall here in T Town, Oklahoma. God bless. Have an amazing Sunday.